Hello everyone, I'm Miccat87 and today I'm going to share my thoughts on the top 10 badges in Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door. There's a lot to discuss about badges and I've seen a couple other channel runners do this, so I figured I would too. Before I start, there's a few things I need to make clear about how this top 10 will work. First off, this is based on my perspective as a challenge runner, not a casual player. As such, I'm not taking into account casual or completionist playthroughs. I also won't be considering extreme stacking and badge farming, as it's not how badges are meant to be used. Finally, just remember that this is my own opinion. As such, none of what I say should be taken as fact, and if you don't agree with me, that's perfectly okay. Without further ado, here are some honorable mentions. These badges are pretty useful, but didn't quite make the top 10. First, we have both Power Plus badges. They're great for increasing attack power, but there are cheaper options for doing so. Next is P Up, D Down. This badge is a cheap way to increase your attack, but has a drawback of lowering Mario's defense, which ultimately keeps it off this list. Then we have Multi-Bounce. This is a very good spread attack that is particularly useful if you have high attack power. It's a weak early game though. Next is Double Dip. This one opens up all sorts of nice item use possibilities. And finally, Power Rush. This provides a respectable attack boost if you're in danger. Like all danger badges, it's particularly good if you have low max HP. Now that that's done, let's get on to number 10. Number 10. Last Stand. I consider this to be the best danger badge for Mario. The cuts damage taken in half while in danger. The nice thing about this badge is that while unlike lots of other defensive badges, it still works with piercing attacks. It can easily give you some extra turns to survive if you get in a pinch, and unlike Close Call, it's 100% reliable and can be planned for. Also has a very cheap cost at 1 BP, so it's very easy to slap 1 or 2 of these on as filler. Stacking 2 also lets you take 1/3 the damage, which can be even more potent. Last Stand might not be as good as it was in the original Paper Mario, but it's still certainly a badge worth using. Number 9. Fire Drive. This is without a doubt the best hammer badge. It does a respectable amount of damage and pierces defense as well. It really shines during pre-hook tail pit and other pit challenge runs, as it's one of the best options for attacking that you'll have. It excels at taking down wizards in particular because it pierces their defense and can severely cripple them with a burn. If it weren't for this badge, the harder pit variants such as pre-hook tail pit and Omega SP would be much harder. It isn't all that amazing late game and full playthrough runs, but it's an insane amount of utility in pit runs earns it a spot on this list. Number 8. All or Nothing. This badge can easily be described in 3 words. Cheaper Power Plus. It increases your attack power by 1, but does no damage if you miss your action commands. Action commands aren't that hard to hit, so if you're a veteran player, the drawback of this badge is practically non-existent. It's the kind of badge that rewards skillful play, so veterans get a lot out of it. The only downside is that it's obtained late, so it doesn't get a whole lot of time to shine. Once you get this badge, there's almost no reason not to equip it. You're basically saving yourself 2 BP if you replace a Power Plus with it. Number 7. Jumpman. I consider this to be Mario's best attack increasing badge. Some may be turned off by the fact that you can't use Hammer if it's equipped, but Hammer isn't as necessary as you think. Partners can often fill the role of Mario's missing Hammer, and once you get Spike Shield and Ice Power, you can essentially jump on any enemy. Not to mention, every single boss in the game can be hit with a jump attack. It could be a bit hard to use early game, but once you get the necessary tools, it becomes an incredibly low cost way to up your damage output. Overall, Jumpman is an amazing badge. Don't let the drawback fool you. Number 6. P Up, D Down, P. There are several partners, each with a decent health pool. As such, defense on partners isn't as important as one might think. For that reason, P Up, D Down, P is another very cheap option for increasing damage output without much drawback. Even if your partner's fate you haven't lost yet, so this comes with much less risks when compared to the Mario counterpart. It's also the fact that Super Guard negates its drawback if done successfully. Similarly to All or Nothing, this badge is unfortunately not obtained until late in the game, but once you obtain it, there is no reason not to put it on. Number 5 and number 4. The Flower Saver badges. These are easily the best badges to use when it comes to FP management. They reduce the cost of each move by 1 FP, but can't reduce it below 1. If you use these, you can often get away with using the same FP consuming moves over and over without having to worry about running out, as long as they aren't too expensive. But still, you can use FP Green alongside these, and a lot of moves essentially become free in FP cost since the FP Green recovers 1 FP after using them. When it comes to FP, you really can't beat moves costing very little or even becoming free. Overall, the 4 BP cost is well worth the reduction in FP consumption. Number 3. Mega Rush P. Now we're in the top 3, and the order of these next 2 badges was hard to decide on since they're all so good. This is by far the best badge in the danger or peril category. Not only is using peril partners generally risk-free, but it's also pretty easy to do. You can swap partners out preferably with quick change and they will be completely safe from fainting even if they have 1 HP. The combination of this badge and quick change is really game breaking for that reason. It's also the go-to strategy for many pit runs. The only thing keeping this at number 3 is the fact that it needs quick change to work at its best. Number 2. Power Bounce. If you ask any challenge winner what the most overpowered attack in the game is, they would most likely say Power Bounce or Multi-Bonk. That's because the raw power of those moves is utterly busted if you have high attack power. For example, if Mario uses Power Bounce with say 6 attack power and hits 5 times, that's 6 plus 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2, or a whopping 20 damage. And it's possible to increase your attack way beyond just that. Bosses will be utterly destroyed in no time with that kind of power. Even without attack greases, it can do a lot of damage to regular foes if you get a lot of bounces. Also remember that this only costs 3 FP or even less with Flower Sabers. You really just can't top that kind of brute force for such a small cost. And again, there's only one badge that tops this one in my opinion. Let's get on to number 1. And finally, at number 1, we have Quick Change. This badge allows you to switch partners in battle without using up a turn. There are many uses for this badge. As I mentioned earlier, using it with Mega HP allows for very easy access to parallel partner attacks. There's plenty more you can do with this badge besides that though. It can be used to preserve stat buffs such as parallel from partners by switching them out before the turn ends. It can be used to switch out to different partner for taking before the enemy attacks. It can be used to allow access to any partner moves at any time. It can be used to switch out a partner with debilitating status element. The list goes on and on. This badge may be a bit on the expensive side, but it's well worth it in many situations, and in the end it makes my top spot. I hope you enjoyed this video and maybe learned a thing or two about badges in the process. What badges do you think are the best in Paper Mario the 1000-Year Door? Feel free to comment and let me know. I plan on making more videos discussing various aspects of Paper Mario Challenge running. Consider subscribing if you'd like to stay updated on any future videos. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.